Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We are covering Elimination Chamber 2018. I am the indomitable Phil K.O.E., the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to be sour, your King of Extreme. And I am joined here by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only, Tony G. How you doing, Tony?
Good.
Always fired up like normal, T. Always great to have you.
I'm a little bit wiped out. Spent the last few days in the hospital having twins.
Yep. Tony G just introduced a new tag team stable to the world of wrestling. But we here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast do not let paltry things like births, life, and death get in the way of our need to provide to you, the Revolutionary Wrestling Nation.
I told that wife, I'm like, look, I mean, children are a big deal, and I know you're probably still paying and stitched, and I mean, I didn't leave her at the hospital or anything, but priorities, people. Come on, it's Elimination Chamber, for fuck's sake.
I know, I mean, wife, kids and stuff, but a podcast, that's so permanent.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, now that we've got that away, and by the way, congratulations, T.
Thank you.
We are now moving on to our predictions for Elimination Chamber. So, my first prediction that I'm going to put forward, and I'm putting this as a win condition, is I think the Women's Chamber match is going to go on last.
Yeah, my prediction on that is you already lost because they're prepping it right now as we watch live.
I don't think so.
I see all the women involved in the chamber match on the screen. I think that's the first match, Phil.
Don't know what you're talking about, T. But, so, moving on down the card, we have the Balor Club versus Ms. Taraj.
Yeah, I think that was on the pre-show, so I don't know what happened, but I picked Balor Club, obviously.
I'm going with Balor Club as well if it happened on the pre-show.
We can use it as a tiebreaker if need be.
Yep, there we go.
Pick the Ms. Taraj, that is.
Well, it depends. Is Finn Balor in the match?
No.
Oh, then Ms. Taraj probably going to win.
Okay, no, I'm sticking with Balor Club.
All right. Then we got this one, the Bar versus Titus Worldwide.
Yeah, the Raw Tag Team titles are on the line against finally somebody besides Seth Rollins. Sorry, Titus and Apollo, you got no chance here. We're going with the Bar to retain.
I agree with you. I think the Bar is going to retain. I mean, you never know. They could just throw you a curveball, but this close to WrestleMania, I don't think they're going to do it.
No. They got to give Sheamus that go-home, feel-good win somewhere.
And then really a match that if Ronda Rousey wasn't in WWE should have been held off till Mania. Asuka versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, I've got Asuka winning because, no. Sorry, Nia Jax should not be the one to snap the streak at fucking Elimination Chamber a month and a half away from Mania.
I agree with you there. If this match was at Mania, I would say Nia would have a much better chance of walking away with the W. But I think Asuka's going to win by armbar to try and build up. Well, it looks like I lost that one, so there's a knocker for my... So I got to be just squeaky clean on these predictions.
Yep, Women's Chamber match up first.
Well, hey, they got a main event Rumble. You gotta give the boys something. Come on. All right. Moving on, I guess I'll give my prediction for this, the Raw Women's title chamber match. Who do you got?
Yeah, I got Alexa Bliss retaining. I don't know how. I'm not going to throw out some weird prediction on how she's going to win, but somehow she's going to retain. Something along the lines of Mickey's going to feel sorry for her because she's been buttering her up on Raw for the past couple weeks. She's going to take advantage of that. Sasha and Bayley, I think that's finally going to happen. Sasha's going to turn on Bayley. Something with fucking Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Somehow Alexa's going to escape this match with the title.
I could see that. I could also see them putting the belt on either Sasha or Bayley.
My second pick would be Sasha, hands down.
Yeah, they tried coming into Mania with Bayley last year, or was that the year before?
Oh, no, that was last year.
Okay, yeah, and it was okay, but it just something fizzled out with her on the way in. I don't know how it worked out, but it's really unfortunate. Now, Alexa Bliss on the way. I do think she's heavily likely to retain, but at the same time, I mean, where do you squeeze her into the picture coming into Mania? Because, I mean, it's a pretty crowded women's picture. You got Charlotte, you got Asuka, you got Ronda, you got Nia, you got Bayley, you got Sasha. Where does Alexa fit in on all that?
I think Alexa fits in as the title holder, basically just a placeholder for Ronda Rousey if they give her the singles match. If they do a mixed tag with Ronda, all bets are off here tonight. But I think you put the belt on Ronda at Mania, you got to give Alexa the title going in. That's my thoughts on it, I guess.
I could see that. Yeah, if they do the mixed tag match with Ronda, then yeah, all bets are off, and I think it's just Asuka versus Sasha Banks. I think that would be the match.
I've got a prediction for how those matches shake out as well, but I guess the next match would be, where did it go?
But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Sasha Banks walks away.
All right, good. We're not going to have exactly the same predictions then. Good. Let's see. After
Woken
that,
Matt.
Woken Matt and Bray Wyatt. God. After that clusterfuck on the Raw 25th show, I'm gonna say this match gets a little more time and a little more drama. But you know what? Nobody eats pins like Bray Wyatt, so Woken Matt wins.
Yeah, because it's 50-50 booking in WWE. Unfortunately, it's going to be 50-50 booking. I think Matt's going to win. Bray's former world champion. I mean, he's got, like, Matt's been in it longer, but Bray's got some pretty heavy credentials, and really, he needs the win.
Yep.
But at the same time, what the fuck are you going to do? Pardon my French. What are you going to do with this guy, Matt Hardy, you're bringing in, and he's got all this heat behind him, and then you just job him out all the time?
Unless you give Woken Matt the win here tonight, basically, they ruined the entire broken gimmick that they wanted to bring in. And they had the perfect opportunity to use it since Jeff went down with the injury. I think they want to continue the Woken Matt saga. So, yeah, I think you give him the win here tonight.
I'm going to, in the end, agree. It'll be Woken. All right, number one contender universal match. I'm going to let you take this one away, T.
Okay, so I'm going to get a little convoluted here with it, but I'll lead you into how I feel it's going to break down. Sorry, Elias. I think they gave you the wins that you needed to get some much-needed momentum. You're probably the first one out, would be my guess. Or actually, no, he's going in last. I take that back. He'll go out somewhere in the middle. It's not going to be Elias. Miz and Rollins are, Miz and Rollins are probably one of the first couple out. Rollins just did a amazing 1 hour, 5-minute gauntlet match on Raw. I think that gave him some much-needed momentum, but he's going to go out about as quick as The Miz, who I believe has to enter first in the match. So you got Miz, Rollins, Elias, all kind of going out early. Strowman's going to be in there towards the end. I'm guessing all 6 guys are going to gang up on him, or maybe Kane shows up. They set up a feud for Kane-Braun at Mania. Maybe he takes Strowman out of the match, but Strowman's not going to win, leaving Cena and Balor and Reigns somewhere in there. Balor probably not going to win it. I think it's going to come down to Roman Reigns, John Cena, last 2 standing in the match. And I'm going to do it again. You know I'm going to. I maybe put my prediction out a little fast and early at Royal Rumble, but towards the end of the match, Cena, Reigns, last 2 standing, lights go out. Undertaker shows up, takes them both out,
God.
puts Roman on top of Cena. There's your winner.
Okay,
Roman Reigns,
this is how
number 1 contender.
We'll add Undertaker appearance as a potential victory point. If you get that, fine. But that's also my chance for us to double or nothing on the women's match.
Yeah, that's just a little side prediction, but Roman's walking out of this with the win.
Oh, Jesus. Lord Almighty, of course he is, unfortunately. I think this is the way I think it's going to break down. Elias is going to somehow screw Cena out of the match, and then there's Cena's road to WrestleMania match. Because basically Cena's story is I'm looking for a WrestleMania match. So, finally Cena knows what it's like to be the rest of the roster.
Yeah, and I would agree. If you don't have an Undertaker appearance tonight to set that dream match up, I think Elias is seen as go-to for Mania, and we all know how much Cena loves to do the job to the up-and-comer at the big show. So yeah, Cena knocks Elias off in pretty stunning fashion at Mania if that match happens. Oh, and I got one more little side prediction, and that would be, I believe Ronda's signing her contract to be on Raw at the pay-per-view tonight. So I think that they set up Ronda versus Alexa if Alexa retains tonight. And I think after Asuka beats Nia Jax, she declares that she is going to go after Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. There you go. Anything else for you?
Well, I think it's going to be the mixed tag match for Ronda.
Okay.
I'm almost certain of it. I think if they can't secure The Rock, they put Braun Strowman in there.
Okay.
They put Braun and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie to try and give us some of that payoff to what never really culminated at Survivor Series between Braun and Hunter. I think that's where that's going to go. The men's elimination chamber match, it should be really anyone else in that match other than Elias deserves the win, and it's going to end up being Roman.
Yep.
So it's unfortunate. Miz would be great. Cena would be marvelous. Cena and Lesnar can put on a hell of a show. Strowman and
I would love to see Balor win too. That'd be cool as shit.
yeah, Balor can finally challenge for the Universal title he never lost. I mean, you've got a great. I mean, any one of them. The Rollins, he just put some serious work in. I don't think he's going to win this. No. From what I've heard, the plan is for him to feud with Roman post-Mania, and they're just going to use Rollins versus Roman for the rest of the year.
Ew.
So that's what I've heard.
I don't know. I think that I wouldn't mind that, but I really see them rekindling the Braun Roman Reigns feud after he wins the fucking thing at Mania, and I really don't know where they're going to go with Rollins, but I hope it's not including Jason Jordan. Sorry.
Oh, God, yeah, poor Jason. But all right, we are starting off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The last thing I will make as a prediction on this card, The Undertaker is not, nor will he, make any appearance other than cutting a promo and saying empty words. He is not going to get in the ring. He's not going to set up a match. He is not going to wrestle at WrestleMania. I will bet you that. He is not wrestling at WrestleMania.
Half of me hopes you're right, but I also would love to see a good final match against someone that people actually want to see him matched up against.
This is going to be the first Mania without Undertaker?
In a long damn time.
Yeah, and so there's a reason why they're going to have Roman versus Brock. It's the two guys who beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. It does, in a way, make sense, and it's unfortunate that it will probably be Roman. I think it would be kind of funny if they did ended up just giving the win to Brock anyways after all this build. Just giving it to Brock, and then he's just the champion for another year. I'd buy it.
Yeah, I could see that too. That'd finally be a decent swerve instead of the year-long build that everybody saw coming. Okay, so here we are. We've got the Women's Elimination Chamber match starting. Bayley and Sonya Deville are starting it out. So far, I don't have a really good read on the crowd. They're really dark.
I got a feeling this might be one of those arenas that's not all that packed.
No, you're talking about Las Vegas, so I could see it being, somewhat empty towards the top.
You got a lot of competition for people's time and attention in Vegas.
Agreed.
She's good, she's rough, but she's a little green. There's still some edges that need to be worked off of there, but she's got the psychology down. I mean, she really does. I'm actually quite surprised at how good she interacts with the crowd and sells her face, but just the in-ring work needs a little more crisping.
Yeah, she does.
Wow,
that was pretty impressive by Bayley. She took a slingshot and grabbed a hold of the chambers.
Spider-Woman.
That was pretty good. My biggest gripe with Sonya Deville is she is not now or ever maybe going to be ready to talk on the mic.
Yeah, I've heard she's not exactly a mic worker, but that's kind of odd because she does do, like I said, the facial selling quite well.
Yeah. So obviously we know that this is the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. Basically, we're fitting all the women's firsts into one calendar year.
I would have really liked to have seen that spread out over time.
Yeah, they didn't
Like,
need to jam it into one calendar year like they
like
did.
the first, like Sasha Banks and Charlotte, like they jammed too many firsts into their feud. Like the first Hell in a Cell and the first Iron Women's match, which was really only half an hour, which isn't a real Iron match.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
You know what? If they want to do the first full hour Iron Man match, give it to Asuka and Charlotte. That would be a license to print. You could sell a pay-per-view main event with that match.
Yeah, a true hour-long Iron Woman.
There you go. Good call. Iron Person match. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. You know what? We may never see another Iron Man match.
Ever. It'll only be Iron people.
So far, Bailey and Sonya are they're not setting the pace super fast, but they've got a fairly good chemistry going so far.
Sonya, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are, I mean, I know you are making the Revolutionary Wrestling podcast your number one priority.
Second this match ends, she's going to get online and look for it.
Of course. Oh, that was actually pretty cool
Nice.
right there. That was
Good
neat.
job,
That was
Bayley.
a good elbow drop, but Bailey is carrying her a little bit.
A little is an understatement, which is a
I'm
pretty good
trying-
testament to Bailey's
I'm trying
in-ring
to
psychology.
be, and just ability. Like,
Yeah. I don't love that they changed it from a circle. I'm still getting used to the square
Mandy
chamber.
Rose.
Oh, so Bailey's about to get the shit kicked out of her by Absolution.
Nice.
Wow.
That was cool.
Nice. All
And
right.
then Bailey's now going to carry two rookies for a while.
I guess that's how you protect
Nice.
Mandy Rose from showing all of her greenness. Have her and Sonya double team the shit out of Bailey for a little bit. I think Mandy Rose is probably going to go towards the end of this match. They really want to push her.
There's going to be the inevitable, the Absolution girls turn on each other. Now Sasha's...
Not happening yet, though.
And now Bailey's doing the Daniel Bryan. Let me beat up two people in opposite corners at once.
Well, they were opposite corners.
Now they're in the same, and oh, there we go.
Sting would be proud. What an innovative turn that was.
I'm giving Bailey a lot of credit here for as much as she's gotten out with as little risks as she's taken.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do respect about the way she wrestles is she doesn't, like, kill herself the way Sasha Banks does every match.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what makes me nervous about this is, like, what height is Sasha going to land?
Holy shit!
Good spear.
On the chamber floor. Looks a lot more padded than it used to be, but
And I'm
that's
going to
neither
be
here
honest,
nor
that
there.
spear was, that was better than Roman Reigns' spear.
I can do a better spear than Roman fucking Reigns. Sorry. Okay, that's not true. Roman has a decent spear, but that was damn impressive.
That was a fine spear by
Wow.
Sonya. And then and now they're going for some double team move.
Bailey doesn't have testicles. Okay, good. I was gonna say, are they gonna try to
No.
crotch chop Bailey? Because sorry.
That doesn't
Oh
work.
God.
Oh.
All right. So, yeah.
So we got the double teaming in an elimination chamber, which honestly doesn't normally happen. So
I think how they're gonna do. I think this is how you save face with Bailey not winning. You have her get the absolute crap kicked out of her early on. She does the comeback, and Sasha turns on her. Then that sets up Sasha versus Bailey at Mania, which is what I'm kind of anticipating.
oh yeah, they got to do Sasha Bailey at Mania, but the problem is you got to do a Festival of Friendship level of friendship turn. They've been doing this weird teasy thing, but the Festival of, like, you got to do it where it's just like, oh man, how could she have turned on Bailey in such a way? Like, it's got to be one of those.
I think at some point it's going to be the classic hit from behind and nothing special because everybody saw it coming. Of course, though, everybody saw Kevin Owens turn on Jericho too, but God, that was just classic.
Oh, the Festival of Friendship was probably the best segment of 2017. I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and say
that's
that. But
probably
now-
close.
But so yeah, that's how they got to do that. Now, honestly, I don't know where Absolution fits into WrestleMania. They were-
Without Paige, it's kind of a they don't.
Yeah, they might make the pre-show.
You mean what, the 5-on-5 women's pre-show match that always seems to happen?
Oh, and they've got Bailey all
Strung out on the cage thing?
Yeah, which, you should probably pull your arms back through now.
Yeah, especially since she's wearing that tape on her shoulder.
Yeah, I'm sure that feels great on the old shoulder that's all taped up, being all through the chains like that. And they're beating up on Bailey still, which, no, she's playing with her hair.
Oh, 10 seconds till the next entrant. I'm going to go ahead and say it's Sasha.
4, 3, 2,
Gotta
1.
be Sasha.
Mickey. Who's it going to be?
Yep, Sasha. Yeah, Bailey's got an ally, according to Michael Cole.
According to Michael Cole.
For how long?
I'm going to say for the next 16 minutes tops.
Okay, I guess I see why they did. Okay, that's different than in Chambers past since they've changed it.
You can walk around?
Yeah, you can get between the ring post and the pod. I liked before how the pod was big enough you could actually use it as a weapon. Now it's more just like a little closet.
Yeah. So they also know, don't fall into them too hard. Braun Strowman has to smash them through these things a little later.
Oh, shit.
And there goes Mandy. Just knocked her out. But yeah.
Who was it that injured Paige? It was
Sasha.
Oh, you mean female Seth Rollins?
That's mean.
No, that's accurate as fuck is what that is.
Female Seth Rollins. Now granted, her style does kind of, it leaves herself out there more than it leaves her opponent. But what really just happened is, and I've seen footage of it, it was just a pretty basic spot. She runs, turns around, and the feet are up in the back. Okay, basic spot. Paige loses all feeling in her extremities and hits the ground. And she had broken her neck for the umpteenth time before this anyways. And, because that's wrestling in today's world is now you have to take so many bumps and then you damn near blow the guy up with a hand grenade just to get a 2 count. And it's injuring guys who are 290 pounds of flab and muscle. And then shockingly, when you drop a 115-pound woman doing the same bumps that are injuring men with more padding, that was a good one.
That was a good spot.
That was a very good spot. And Sonya, she can take a bump too. It's just,
She's going to need that moving forward when she has no storyline. That's how you get yourself over. Bump like a crazy person. That's how Sasha got over.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Now Sasha got over by basically landing herself on her neck a lot.
Ugh.
Too much.
Basically, she watched what Lita did for fucking how many years and goes, oh, okay, I basically just have to break my collarbone to get over. Got it.
Yeah, they have slowly started to gear things back, but there's just certain bumps that they take that
nobody in their right mind for any reason should do the dive through the ropes. I'm looking at you, Rollins. I'm looking at you, Ambrose, especially, and Sasha, you too. No, don't do it. Just don't do it. They should probably ban the fucking move because it's so damn dangerous. Big E does that shit, for Christ's sake.
The other thing they should probably do, if they ban a move, maybe just...
Wow.
Oh, there goes Mandy Rose.
I'm surprised they didn't leave her in it longer.
And now it's going to be either Mickey or Alexa. Yeah, Alexa Bliss coming in last would be definitely helping your prediction. I still say Sasha or Bailey are possible.
Here's the thing I don't like about Sasha's wrestling style. It's way too easy to injure your opponent on accident or on purpose. Because there have been many times where Sasha holds moves a little longer, bends women a little more than she should. Especially against Alexa. She was quite rough with Alexa just because they don't like each other legitimately.
Neckbreaker. Coming into this, Tony made a very good joke. I was like, well, we better get in. We better get this ready. It's going to be the opening match. We might miss the Universal Championship match. Tony made the points oh, Phil, this is a Raw pay-per-view. You're not going to see the Universal title. Oh, my God.
No, God, no. If it's SmackDown, it opens the show. The world title does. But on Raw pay-per-views, you're lucky to even hear the belt mentioned, for Christ's sake.
you might get Paul Heyman to show up and talk about his client.
Nah, I don't think he's even going to bother showing up. Why would you? Mickey, it's not actually a cage match. You don't have to escape the cage.
For some unbeknownst reason, Bailey and Mickey are climbing up the cage together. Apparently, they are thinking back to the 90s and imagining Vince McMahon going, and they're making their ascent. Whoa!
Oh!
That was a bad little tumble there. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Okay. Absolution's gone.
Absolution has been eliminated. Mickey James with a jump off the top. Oh, and there we go.
Shit, Mickey's
1,
gone.
2, 3. Mickey's eliminated. We are down
Wow.
to Sasha, Bailey, and Alexa Bliss. So Mickey's been eliminated. So we're down to a 3-way dance here.
Well, Alexa's not even in the match yet.
Yep. She might do the Miz and just hide out in her pod. You two just keep fighting until y'all are going to almost be dead. And then I'll jump out.
This has been a pretty straightforward chamber match. No crazy spots. I mean, Mickey did a pretty nice jump off of a pod, and Bailey took a pretty good spill right before that. Absolution did some fun stuff with the cage, and Sasha's done her hurt myself bumping.
Now Sasha and Bailey are just looking at Alexa like a...
Licking their chops. Yep, there you go.
Nice.
Yep. God, I love Alexa. Oh, she's the best.
And up to the
Awesome.
cage she goes.
Awesome. Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Hiding on the pod. I love it.
Oh, you're right. Darn it, you're right. Alexa needs to go to Mania.
Go back up. Go back up. Oh, I love her.
Up she goes.
She's just
She's
so
like,
good.
nope, forget it. We ain't doing this.
Sasha gets
Who's
a hand
flying
off.
out of the 3, who's flying off? Oh, no. Oh!
I don't consider that a turn yet.
That's a turn.
Nah,
That's a turn.
not good enough.
Sasha just turned.
No, because
There
if
it
you want the
was.
official turn, she's going to pin
She
Bailey.
just kicked her in the face and sent her dropping 6 feet. How much more of a turn do you need? That is a Scar turning on Mufasa turn. Yeah, there's Alexa.
Yes.
Alexa does a better Ric Flair than Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
That is impressive.
I think she is hands down the best heel on the roster, and that includes Miz. Sorry.
There, that was nice. Nice. Oh, yeah, these two are going to tear it
Yes.
down at Mania. They are
I'm hoping.
selling me on a match between... Ooh,
Nice
nice.
setup for Trio. Whoa.
That's the best Trio Woe setup I've ever seen. Oh, and now stomp in a mud hole. Nice. An Eddie Guerrero
Pretty good
frog splash.
splash.
1, 2. Oh, and a kick out. Kick out. Yeah, she actually got a pretty good sail there. As someone who's had to do frog splashes in their day, the last second's the freakiest part, and the one that you can screw up the most. But so far, I'm actually pretty impressed. They turned Bailey and Sasha on each other at just the right moment to keep this compelling. Oh!
Holy
up the top rope,
shit.
Belly to belly from Bailey.
Is Bailey going to eliminate Sasha? Wait a minute.
1, 2, 3.
Ha! Wow. Before she even gets a chance.
Alexa Bliss eliminates Bailey with a roll-up pin right after she hits a flying finisher on Sasha Banks, which will set up your prediction quite nicely, T. 1, 2.
Kick out.
Oh, kick out.
Now you don't have the official. She turned on Bailey. At Raw tomorrow night, they can do it. They can embrace and hug after going, well, you kind of screwed me, or you turned on me. Oh, yeah, let's just hug. Then they hug, then Sasha turns on her. That's fine. Then everything will be right in the world. That's how it should be. As long as Alexa wins this match, everything will be just hunky-dory.
Oh, and Alexa Bliss
That
barely
was
getting out of that.
Fucking impressive, Alexa.
That was a very well done spot there. Alexa's moonsault into Sasha Banks' finish. Rolled into the ring. Sasha's looking up top.
Oh, do it, Sasha. That'll go out well.
Doesn't she have an Eddie Guerrero? Yep, she's going to do the Guerrero splash. Didn't Eddie jump off that for
Yeah, he did.
And yeah, she's often said her wrestling hero is Eddie Guerrero. Oh.
Nice. Oh.
Oh!
Beautiful
Nice.
pinner. Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes. Thank
And
you.
so far
Woo.
we're
Yes.
I
The
am
goddess retains.
I am 0 for 2 on this one.
Woo!
I thought this match was going to go on last, and I thought
Ah,
Sasha might win. But you know what? It is the right choice. Alexa really does do some amazing heel work. Like, just her work on this match alone sold me on her going to Mania. Getting into the tag team title match between Titus Worldwide and The Bar. As I pointed out before, Apollo has all of the tools he needs to succeed. He's got the physique. My God, he's got one of the better physiques on the roster. The guy can actually do some pretty amazing things in the ring. The problem is the gimmick he's been saddled with. I mean, go out there, smile, and act nice. You know who else couldn't get that gimmick over? The Rock. You know, the most marketable, famous man in all of the planet Earth right now. He couldn't get that over. No wonder Apollo can't get that over. He needs a better gimmick. And now we got The Bar coming out, which they needed a name, but unfortunately, it's kind of like a cursed ship. It sinks the minute you finally name it. And Apollo climbing the top rope. Yeah, and that's what I mean. The guy's that big, and he's that agile.
Yeah.
He can fly that far. There's really no reason. I really don't see why he wasn't NXT champion at some point.
because he's saddled with the smiling gimmick. You know exactly why.
Very true. I mean, it's the worst gimmick, especially for him. He's just going to smile and be like, "Hi, everyone. Why don't you think I'm cool?" Like, yeah.
At least people enjoy hating Jason Jordan.
Yeah, that is, I'll give Jason Jordan that. He now at least gets to enjoy being hated, which is something.
That's the only thing he's got going for him. That and an injury.
That was a really good bump by Apollo that will be unappreciated. Really too bad because Titus just screwed himself over on the Daniel Bryan retirement thing, and really he just needs to ask for his release. He's never going to get any kind of major push.
No, he's basically just a talent builder at this point.
At this point and forever until he's done. Like, he will be Mr. Talent Builder forever. Like, that's... Well, or at least he'll be Mr. Talent Builder until Vince McMahon no longer has power in the company.
Yeah, exactly.
Triple H might push him, but boy, Titus, that was a bad time to be jovial and humorful. So we got back to the match, Apollo and Cesaro. Apollo, he has not had that Roman Reigns moment. That match where you have to work Roman Reigns well. John Cena's had plenty of Roman Reigns moments.
Now Cesaro's doing his best to rekindle momentum.
There we go, some good tag teaming. That's the one thing I will give the Revival. They are so good that current tag teams rip them off.
And I think that going into Mania, it should be the Revival going for the tag team title. It should be. It should be. As you can tell from Phil's response to that, we both know that's not fucking happening.
You mean the guys that were completely stomped, buried 28 feet under the ground on Raw as War by the Balor Club and a bunch of washed up has-beens of yesteryear?
You be
In 3 minutes?
You be nice to X-Pac.
Yeah, like X-Pac, like, what was funny about that one is as the wrestlers came out, it was just progressively sadder the more that they came out. And my wife was watching it with me, and she used to think Scott Hall was a handsome guy.
He was quite dashing, and then he basically...
Father Time gave him an outsider's edge.
Basically, Scott Hall and Father Time got into a drinking competition and then thought it'd be a good idea to go fucking 90 down a residential street. That's what happened to Scott Hall.
Very, very true. Oh, are they going to keep up? And this is actually good tag team psychology, just keeping Apollo out of the tag.
Yeah, good tag team psychology. Way to put that match after a chamber match, also known as the match that has no hope of grasping any straw from the crowd.
Why do they keep putting Cesaro in that position every single time? They had Cesaro and Sheamus in the match after the Royal Rumble, too. Like, these poor guys just have the worst, like, job that they have to, all right, that match that got everybody jazzed up, you got to follow it and give us something to pause between the next big match.
That pretty much explains itself, though. That's why Cesaro is put in that match, because he's such a good talent that people need something to be entertained by, So put the guy in that can outwork 5 other guys in a 6-way match. Put him in that match. Too bad that it falls flat every fucking time. I really do feel bad for Cesaro because the dude is so talented.
Oh, yeah, he should be in a singles run now, but he's gotten more out of Sheamus than Sheamus knew he could get out of Sheamus. So that's why he's in this, because they've got this guy, they've invested a lot into Sheamus, and they're getting a lot out of him now. Like, this is Sheamus' best run. It's too bad that he got hit with that injury when he did, because this is the best version of Sheamus we have ever seen. Like, I think Apollo, with the right gimmick, the right story, the right setup, could really be something. He ain't going to get there in Titus Worldwide, okay?
No,
And Titus,
this is transition at
I'm
its finest.
sorry, Titus, but it is a rule of how can we miss you if you don't go away? I really think you, like Dolph Ziggler, could tremendously benefit from going away from a little while and reinventing yourself and coming back with fresh new momentum. Oh, Titus with the big finish. 1, 2, there we go. At least they broke up the pin. I hate it when they just like kind of tap them a little bit and act like that's the pin break.
Nope, you've got to break the pin out.
Everybody gets to have their one botch of pay-per-view
Well,
too.
at least it was a good move after it.
1, 2,
There it
and
is.
there we go. Fairly good match with one botch right up to at the end, which is unfortunate because that's all anybody's going to remember about the match.
Yeah.
Because it was a very good match, but like I said,
No
I'm
heat.
sticking with my prediction of.
So we both had the bar, right?
Yeah, we both had the
Okay,
bar.
so 2-1 right now. Got it.
Yep.
Asuka versus Nia Jax in match number 3. I am sticking with Asuka because why the hell wouldn't I? Phil?
As much as I would like to just be contrarian, I'm going to have to logically go with Asuka. They are building to Mania. There's no way Nia gets the 1, 2, 3. That'd be the biggest weird. Like I don't even know what. I wouldn't even know how to react to that. Honestly, it would not be a positive reaction.
It would be nearly 900 days of undefeated streak wasted. That's what that would be.
Yeah. I honestly think she should win the belt at Mania, and then they shouldn't even consider taking the belt off of her until next Mania. That's how I would book Asuka.
That's about right. I gotta say, Asuka's entrance is one of the more entertaining, but like my wife, if she wanders in to see Asuka entering a match, she's very confused by it. But it's actually quite captivating. The whole perching up on the top rope, slowly removing the mask with that wicked grin, it works. I like it. She should not change that one bit.
The one thing I always wonder is, what does Asuka do with all of the masks? Because she always has different masks on. What does she do with all of them?
I guess, is there like a locker in the in one of the ring crew trucks that she keeps that shit in, or
Just the mask box where she can just grab random masks. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Like, hey, I mean, when she gets to retirement age, I think she should take all them masks and just eBay them.
No, there's got to be a reason, a rhyme and a reason to which mask she wears and why at that certain point. Nice.
Nice. Good counter there of Asuka's. Like, Asuka throws her butt around as an offensive move, which I get it makes sense, but that was a very good counter by Nia, and now Nia's going to start Nia-ing Asuka.
I think this is actually probably, so far, the correct way to line the match card up so far for this pay-per-view, because this is actually...
that was a
nice,
wicked stomp.
nice face stomp. But this is a really good lead-in for the next match. Like, this takes you out of unfortunately, the buffer match of the tag team title into this match that the crowd is way more invested in.
That was a really stiff backbreaker Nia just dropped on Asuka.
Well, you gotta remember, like, Nia's a professional and all, but she's also gotta be just furious with the fact that the NXT call-up took her undefeated streak gimmick, because that's what she was supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it's like the two of these really should just be the dominating factors on opposing shows. But like I said, in a weird way, not necessarily the roster. The roster's tiny, but the main event crowd of the women's division is really crowded.
Agreed. Now, where they go from here with Nia,
Going for a knee bar?
I don't know.
Yeah, Nia, like, she's just... Oh. Nia's just going to power her up.
Even in defeat here, I think Nia's going to come out looking pretty good.
Yeah, like the way she just shuffled off that knee bar, that was pretty good. I think it'll be, I don't think she's going to tap out, although I think she should to set up the Rousey eventual meeting. I really think Asuka should just be tapping people out by armbar for the next year and a half.
I think it's basically all been by submission, so a pinfall victory probably isn't in the works here tonight. It's going to be a tap out.
You know, I almost hope not, because they got to keep Nia somewhat strong.
That would be a good way to keep Nia looking good.
Oh, and going for a choke. Nice. Really, it's unfortunate. It's like it's almost too bad there isn't some third brand out there, because then Nia would be, without a doubt, the champion of it. But like I said, it's a really crowded field. It's like, yeah, if there's a third brand, you'd have Dolph Ziggler and Nia Jax being the champions of it, basically. I like this match. It's, Pitbull and Terrier. It's good booking. It's not Andre Hogan. It's Pitbull and Terrier.
Asuka chops down the tree for a little bit. The tree lands on you. You get up, you chop the tree a little bit, the tree lands on you. Eventually, you chop the tree down.
Yeah, or the tree just lands on you for the last time. Just depends. That was a nice one-arm Samoan drop from yet another kinfolk of The Rock and the Inoue family.
Of course it is.
It's like Samoa Joe is, I'm pretty sure, the one major exception to the rule of... Oh! Gosh, she landed right on her tailbone there. That was actually pretty good.
Nice.
That was actually well done. I kind of wanted to see the Yoko drop, though.
Yeah.
But if Nia messes that one up, like, she's going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, you don't let her do that to your undefeated streak star. You don't. You just don't.
Oh, no, the smash. Oh, still smashed your legs.
Yeah,
she
didn't come out of that unscathed. Oof.
Leg don't quite work. Oh, here we go. Oh, no.
She's got to power out of the armbar once.
Nope, not going to let her. Well, she does have her legs crossed, so she can't see. There you go. Oh, now she's in the triangle choke.
Going for triangle. Nope, she's going to get a power bomb for her trouble. Yep.
There we go. And, Seth Rollins bomb.
No, it's not a Seth Rollins bomb because Asuka's not legitimately hurt.
There we go. And Seth. We love you, Seth. Kisses. I
do love me some Seth Rollins.
Some special kisses, especially from Finn Balor and Sting.
And Dean.
And I'm sure there's a few we're missing. They're all sending you lots of hearts and kisses.
Now John Cena got his nose absolutely destroyed by Seth Rollins.
1, 2, 3. Nice! Asuka.
Wow.
With the
Holy
1, 2, 3 roll-up pin over Nia. And
I might look it up, but yeah, that might be her first pinfall victory in like 800 days.
Yeah, so now it looks like it's going to be...
They've got Alexa watching in the back, saw Asuka just win, so one would assume that Asuka's going to challenge Alexa at Mania, which unfortunately would mean Ronda Kurt versus Trips and Steph. Fuck. We missed the introductions, but Matt Hardy came out and entered the ring, and then Bray Wyatt's montage intro hit, and he's in the ring. And Matt is gone. Now we hear Matt on the loudspeaker. Now Bray's pissed. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Is it like some stupid man behind the curtain Wizard of Oz shit?
Compelling.
Yeah, it adds some much-needed flavor to this pretty stale feud. There we go. All right, now we're on. Yeah, like I said, I'm sticking with Matt on this one. I got to.
After that little double-timey intro triple cross, I'm going with Matt. I like it.
Yeah, it has to be.
That and your turn, my turn booking. That and, Matt really does need a momentum win here, and Bray's the guy. And really, when it comes to this feud, the victory is not really the important part. It's just
No.
the getting there. And these two guys could just do this for 6 more months, and I'd watch every match of it. Whether any of you dirty marks want to admit it, you would watch every minute of it and love every bit of it, just like I love this match.
I like this. Bray does his upside down shit, and Matt just claps for him. That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
And then Bray just looks like confused as shit. That's pretty good.
Matt's getting something over. I'm gonna give this boy credit in finding ways of reinventing himself and continually getting himself over in new ways.
You know what's even more impressive is he didn't get this over in WWE. Fun fact. Did you know that, Phil?
No, Matt just came back, and he was Matt Hardy with an odd white streak in his hair, and then one day he was simply woken.
Yeah, let's pretend that's how that went. It's not.
What? Well, history, according to Sports Entertainment, states that is.
This feud actually started
An episode of Raw where Matt Hardy was interrupted by Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah. No, this feud started on Twitter when Matt and Jeff were still doing their backyard wrestling final deletion bullshit in TNA. Never actually thought I'd get to see it. So by the time it finally actually happened, WWE had watered it down to the point where it had half the heat that it could have.
Well, that might have been just because the original was just so good. Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
like full shoot. As a shoot, I'm just going to let you know. Not a fan of the final deletion match.
Really? Because they're so good. You know how good they are? I watched about half of the first one. And I think there was like 5 more after that.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I just thought it was pushed incredulity too far. You couldn't. There was no suspension of belief when you're going that far.
Oh, and then the best part? WWE went ahead and copied it.
Yeah, they did with the New Day.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah,
But
that was
back
really...
to the match.
No, even weirder is the fact that the New Day goes to the Wyatt family compound, and there's like 100 Wyatt family members, yet oddly enough, Bray has no stable anymore. But there's somehow 100 of them in the woods somewhere that he just can't get a hold of now, I guess.
I was about to
Must have Verizon.
Nice. I was about to say, I mean, you'd think he could have at least had one of those folks there, put a fire extinguisher to that house that apparently had, like, Sister Abigail in it.
Right? Yeah, I don't know how the hell Randy got the resources to burn that thing down when there's 100 inbred cult members lurking around in sheep masks, but I digress.
Yes, as we digress. But, oh, Bray, so over, but with such bad booking. Oh, my God. It's like, if it wasn't for Zack Ryder, everyone would talk about how you're so horribly booked and the worst ever booked.
How are Zack Ryder and Bray Wyatt not in a feud right now over who got fucked worse?
Don't give them any ideas.
I'd watch that feud for sheer sake of seeing who gets to eat the pin.
Even I would have to say that's got to be Zack. Bray was at least a world champion at one point. Zack
transitional world champion. No, Bray Wyatt wasn't even a transitional world champion. Bray Wyatt won the fucking title from John Cena, who won it just for the asterisk.
Just to get the numbers.
Yeah, Bray got it off of a technicality, who ended it off to the actual transition champion Randy Orton. That's about the most meaningless title reign you can have. Taking it from a placeholder and handing it to another placeholder.
Title reign nonetheless.
Give him that, and he deserved it. And even the crowd said he deserved it, which made it even the more painful when you realize this boy ain't going to hold this belt for very damn long. And he didn't. Worms on the wrestling mat didn't win the match. I know. Shocking, to say the least.
I thought that was going to be the finish, really.
Randy goes for the RKO. worms are magically projected onto the mat. Randy basically starts convulsing, and Bray Wyatt retains. I think that was the original booking for that.
Now, he's doing really good in this match. I'm actually enjoying the hell out of this match. And again, Matt and Bray really I'm liking that they're actually being given time. I like how they're allowed to do kind of wacky stuff. I'm also digging the Chitluhu shirt that he's wearing, or Kitluhu, or however you want to.
Cthulhu.
There we go. There's a couple ways you could say that. For you HP Lovecraft fans, please don't.
Nice,
Please be nice to me in the comment section.
Yeah, all like 45 of you that listened to our first podcast, we would like to thank you. Even if that was like us checking it 3 or 4 times to see how many views there were.
I have no idea what you're talking about, T. He really, like, if he were to actually get a pin, I'd like to see it, but
This needs
it
to have...
it doesn't help him any. If
No.
he gets a win, it doesn't help him. That's the problem. It's kind of like The Undertaker doesn't need the title. Bray doesn't need to win, and that's a terrible place to be.
That's the thing. Like, everybody's accustomed Bray Wyatt to losing so much that it's just kind of ingrained in everybody's perception. Now, that said, I think this match needs a strong finish.
He's got a vicious
Not just a
Uranage.
quick finish, not a couple false finishes. This needs a strong finish with something memorable to it to continue this.
Definitive.
Now, because if they're going to take this match and this feud and continue it into Mania, which I would assume they do, because these are 2 guys that you could put in a special stipulation match at WrestleMania and have a memorable WrestleMania match, you need a strong finish here 6 weeks out from Mania to continue that. If you just have Matt, or even Bray, just win the match, just win it, it really does nothing for the feud. You need to continue it in a way that it's going to compel the crowd. Because so far, they've added so much water to this feud that people are entertained by it, people are enjoying it, but it needs a little umph. And so far, they're doing their best here. They're given, like you said, they've been given time, thank God. So hopefully, this has a strong finish and they can continue this into Mania, where they should ultimately probably end it.
It's like Ric Flair. It's like, don't go up top. All the years I've been watching you, it's never worked.
You know, and I always thought that Ric Flair would whip out a shooting star press at least once, but no, never did. He always,
For all we know, that could have been what he was intending. He never got it off.
No, he was going to do a 450.
Oh, I know. How silly of me.
No, 450 shooting star press. That's what Ric Flair was always meaning to do.
Bray, the longer you delay on the Sister Abigail, the more we know it's going to get countered. It's almost like a given.
Oh,
And will it be deletion?
Is this going to be the finish?
1, 2, 3, and it was a deletion.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
my turn, your turn, deletion.
So what I just said about a strong finish, guess what? It
Did
didn't
not
happen.
happen. That strong finish will have to be saved for Mania. So in reality, yes, Matt needed this win badly because, why not? But, unfortunately, it's a win over Bray, which...
Does not mean much. It does not hold any freaking weight.
Yes, that's unfortunate. We are getting ready for the Elimination Chamber match between Braun Strowman, Elias Sampson, John Cena, Roman Reigns, The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. But to touch on what we just saw a moment ago, Ronda came out, Kurt came in and actually had some pretty good banter, got cut off in the middle of the B word.
God forbid. Biscuit?
I'm sure that's what he was going to talk about. I think Bischoff. That was the word, which is the wrestling B word, Bischoff. But long story short, Ronda ends up belly to belly suplexing Triple H through a table. Stephanie slaps.
K-Fabs.
That was a heck of a slap. Ronda. The crowd starts chanting "You effed up," like incessantly. Unfortunately, Ronda didn't do anything, and it is looking like the mixed gender tag match is on. The only question is, who is her partner going to be? Will it be Kurt Angle, or I think your backup is Braun Strowman? He would be a very good placement for that role.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's basically solidified at this point that Ronda's not going to be just shoved into the title picture, which, good. Good for her. She's going to cut her teeth a bit. You start her out, a few segments on Raw in the next six weeks, let her build it up, and then, yeah, I think the only answer now is Triple H Steph versus Kurt and Ronda. It makes sense. I liken Elias's physique and ability to Randy Savage. He's got the big buff guy build, but he's damn athletic.
And bearded as well.
Yeah, the beard probably throws that comparison into the long hair, beard, Savage. Yeah, that might be it. But no, he's got that athleticism, and he's got the ring prowess, and he's got the build and the ability. So I really just think of Macho Man when I see Elias. I like the fact that they're giving him a pretty good build right now. He deserves it. Good for him.
Every year, there's always a couple of standouts from the Elimination Chamber match. We'll see who they are this year. The big standout from this year's women's was obviously Alexa Bliss. I mean, she just dominated that in entertainment factor. But now we're back into the Elias really has a connection with the crowd, which for as little time as he's had, I'm pretty shocked. So, oh yeah, that's right. Elias is last in the chamber. So we'll see how that works out for him. I see why they'd want to put the belt on Roman because they're building to it. But honestly, the audience is buying Brock as champion. Leave him the champ for another full year. Then you can say when whoever takes the belt off of him, that next Mania, the guy's held it for 2 years, and that's your new legit guy. Because you've had the belt on Brock for 2 years. He's taken about 28 bumps a year per year. You have either Braun or Roman. Yeah, that would be legit. He comes up a little short the year before, finally takes it off him the next year. That would be a compelling story that I could actually get behind Roman Reigns on.
Okay. I see where you're going with that. I don't hate that idea. I think that's the only way anybody's going to be swerved at Mania 34 is to have Roman not beat Brock for the title. I mean, we're already talking about this chamber match like it's a foregone conclusion Roman wins it because, duh. But, yeah.
I'm giving Braun a very good chance at winning it. I'm giving Braun an extremely good chance.
Well, he should win it, but he won't. Yeah, I am actually excited for what's going to happen after WrestleMania already. And WrestleMania hasn't happened. I'm actually excited for what's going to happen after WrestleMania with Braun and the Universal title picture because the crowd is eating out of the palm of this guy's hand. And you know what he's doing? He's power slamming people. He is power slamming people over and over. Who in their right mind gets excited for a power slam? People probably...
Fans in Wimbledon Stadium wanting to see the British Bulldog, Tony. That's who.
Yeah, holy crap, you're right. That's the last time people got excited for a frickin' power slam. The British Bulldog coked out of his fucking mind.
Watch this, John Cena, he's been on an interesting character arc, honestly. Because he's been here for a minute or two. He's been doing this for 10 years, been the guy carrying the company. Over that, actually. My goodness, been over 10 years. And he's now, do you think they might be finally ready to turn him heel?
I think it's to the point where you have to, since it's feuded with The Rock over being a part-timer, and now he is in himself a part-timer. I think you can finally do it. Because they've really been upplaying the Cena's the hero for children and everybody. He's never gives up. Yeah, everybody knows the shtick. I think as a part-timer, you can finally turn him heel. It doesn't matter what brand you put him on. It doesn't matter what you do with him. You can finally turn him heel, and it would be acceptable and okay. I understand why they didn't do it before. He had enough of a good following that turning him heel may have hurt merchandising and viewership. Fine. That's not the same condition with Roman Reigns right now, but we're not going to get into that because pretty much everybody's in agreement on that. A John Cena heel turn at this point would be something fresh that people would actually want to watch. It would be very similar to a Hulk Hogan New World Order heel turn. It would be, you would have to do something along those lines to really sell it.
Completely change his look. He would have to really do something drastic. I don't know what, but it would.
But that would do it. Start a stable, do something, change the gimmick turn heel. People would be interested in it.
Don't just make it corporate John Cena, for God's sake.
No, God, no. You can't do that. Braun Strowman in the pod breathing on the plexiglass is fucking terrifying, and I'm sitting in Nebraska right now. My God.
Several states away.
Holy Christ.
Like, yeah, he just looks like a pit bull ready to charge.
Wow. If there's anybody I want to see win this match.
That would be awesome if somehow, some way, The Miz walked away with it. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not. There's no remote chance The Miz could win this match. But you want to make me more interested than ever for WrestleMania 34? Intercontinental Champion The Miz versus Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. How do they set that up? How does that match go? My God, would that be compelling?
I was thinking that was what they were going to do with Roman. They were going to keep the belt on him and Universal versus Intercontinental at Mania.
Nope. My favorite thing about the Roman Reigns Intercontinental title reign, he was a placeholder just to give it right back to Miz.
Yeah, and here comes Finn Balor. Oh, Blue Balor. He's
What
blue.
Fuck.
Blue Dust Balor.
Dude, Elimination Chamber 2018, and you're coming out with the fucking Blue Dust reference. Are you fucking kidding me? Out of the, 50 views we're going to get out of this podcast, not one of them is going to understand what the fuck you just meant by Blue Dust.
Tony,
Really?
let's be honest. If you're watching this podcast and you made it this deep, you know exactly who Blue Dust is. You dirty, dirty Mark. Welcome to it. I'm one too.
That or you know who we are.
Quite true. Quite true.
Starting this off, we've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz. Your three best talents?
In-ring
In-ring
workers.
talents, yes. The three guys in the ring right now, Miz, Rollins, Balor, would be a fantastic WrestleMania match.
Like I said, WrestleMania 40, this could be your main event. Okay.
Double buff blockbuster!
Double buff. Yeah, the buff blockbuster. They did a double on one. That was quite some excitement for the buff blockbuster for a guy who never really watched much WCW.
Buff was the stuff.
He sure was. Double 5-knuckle, a 10-knuckle shuffle.
Oh, and Vegas is loving it.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
With all the enthusiasm of a Hulk Hogan leg drop.
Sling Blade. Everybody loves that move now. I don't know, like, I get it. It's safe, but...
Like 4 guys do it, though.
And a couple of women do, too.
5 guys in the ring.
You don't think he's going to start kicking him, do you? It would be a good way to go.
I think The Miz is going to be the first out. You got 5 guys in the ring right now. Only 2 more to enter. I think it's going to be The Miz going out first. I really hate to say it.
I think it's going to be Finn.
Nah, Finn second. And Miz just kicked out of a Roman sit-down powerbomb, so I'd like to take this time to plug my other podcast.
Wait, you're seeing other podcasts on me? I don't know if this can go on. I thought this was an exclusive podcasting arrangement. Now I'm going to have to get my podcasting provider checked for viruses.
I promise I'm clean.
That's what all the other podcasts say.
Braun double suplexes Rollins and Cena, yes!
Oh!
Yes! Sell it, Braun! Braun Strowman is what the Big Show should have been.
I can give you that. I'll give you that. But he was a WCW guy, so they weren't going to do that for him. Braun's going to power slam the Miz. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Tony was correct. Miz was the first eliminated. 4 guys.
Holy crap.
1, 2. Nice!
Yes!
4-man powerbomb that Braun kicks out of.
Kick out of it all, Braun. All of it. Kick out of all of it.
Cena's going for the AA. Oh!
Kick out. Kick out.
1, 2.
Yes, it won! Yes!
Out at 1.
Oh!
Roman spear.
Kick out at 1.
1, 2.
Kick out at
2.
Yes!
Oh!
Curb stop. Well, it's not going to be off the pod, but Finn Balor with a double foot stop.
Oh!
Braun just ate like 5 finishers.
like in a row on top of a quadruple power bomb. Braun has eliminated everyone so far.
And he should.
He should eliminate everyone unless if he's going to win, he should eliminate everyone. If he's going to lose it, he should eliminate everyone but the last guy. Oh, really? 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Braun eliminates Cena.
Wow.
Miz, Elias, and Cena all in success, like within 3 minutes of each other. And here comes Roman.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know. We haven't had enough of him lately. Oh, there goes
Damn
Finn.
it.
1, 2, 3. There's number 4. All Braun. All Braun all the time. This has been a Braun marathon.
Wow.
And here
we're to the point of the match where we're just kind of watching it.
Yep. That's when you know it's actually good wrestling, folks, is when our jaded ass actually shuts up for a minute and enjoys the match. That's when you know. And here comes the power slam for Seth. Oh, nice super kick. Another one.
Wow.
Downs him. Going for the curb stomp. And, yep, into a power slam. Seamless. That was a seamless power slam.
Wow.
Like curb stomp, like that's going to go down as one of the better curb stomp counters.
5 straight eliminations for Braun Strowman. Exactly like it should be.
And going for the Superman punch. Is he going to hit it? Ooh!
Yeah, this ain't the finish. No.
Please don't let this be the finish. Ooh! 2 spears in a row. 2. Roman won. Boo. Boo, 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 boo. It was the conclusion we all knew. Now, granted, they kept Braun real strong, but in the end, he should have gotten the W. But what are you going to do? So, it will be the 2 men who have defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
As we all knew for the last calendar year.
I don't like predictive booking, but you know what? They had to get there somehow. So I'm just hoping that Brock hangs on to it. I'm sticking with it. I think he should hold it for another year. And so next year, whether it's Roman or Braun, whoever takes the belt off him, they can say they unseated the 2-year reign of the champion. All right, let's break down the matches. First ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. First of all, how many stars you give it and why?
I'm going to give it 3. I'm going to say 3 because it was the opener. It was exactly what it needed to be because it did not need to tear the house down, but it also didn't need to deflate the crowd to the point where they were not going to enjoy the rest of the card. Alexa was brilliant in retaining. Everybody else did their part. Sasha and Bayley began their turmoil, but there weren't massive spots. The 2 biggest memorable spots were Bayley taking a dump off onto the chamber floor and Sasha jumping off. Mickey jumped off, but Alexa retained. I'll give it 3 stars for what it was.
I'm going to give the match overall 3.5 stars. Okay. I'm going to give Alexa Bliss's performance 5 stars. Okay, that is how I qualify it.
That's good.
I'm going to give the match overall 3.5. Very good. Everybody did what they had to do. There was very little rookiness. Like, Sonya had a couple of moments where it wasn't as crisp as it could have been, but she took some really good bumps as well. But really beyond, it was a very good match, 3.5 stars. But like I said, I give Alexa a 5-star rating in her performance, and Sasha and Bayley finally got what they needed to get going. So I'm looking forward to hopefully their feud caps off at Mania.
After that, we had the Bar retaining against Titus Worldwide. Frankly, all 4 guys in the match, very underrated, especially Cesaro, specifically Cesaro. The Bar retained, no surprise. 2.5 to 3 stars. And I'm sorry, because it was a good match. The crowd wasn't there. The build was nowhere near what it could have been for a match on a pay-per-view because it had maybe a week and a half at best build.
If it wasn't for Cesaro, this would be a 2.5 star match. Cesaro ekes it out
Yep.
to the 3-star, and
Yep.
that's how I put it out. All right, what was the next match from there?
Asuka Nia Jax. They didn't have much build. It deserved more than that. That was a matchup that they could have built for a month and a half and really actually probably sold people on watching the event.
It was the first time she wasn't completely strong in victory. First time it wasn't a submission. And with Nia, that makes sense because Nia, again, she just suffers from the fact that the main event scene and the women's scene is really, really crowded right now. The overall roster isn't, but the main event scene is a little overcrowded, and that's why she really hasn't captured any championship straps yet. That's her biggest problem.
After that, after Asuka Nia Jax, we had Woken Matt versus Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
They got time this go around.
The intro was actually really
Yes.
entertaining, and I
Yes.
give them both props for selling that. And then
Yes.
when Bray did his, oh my, look, you are upside down. Matt got the whole crowd mocking him,
Yep.
which was also classic. I
Yep.
mean, so Matt's got the crowd eating out of the palm of his hands. Bray, somehow, some way, despite how horribly he has been booked for the last 3 years, the fans still turn the cell phones on for him. Really, he eventually needs to make a face turn because the Firefly entrance is not a heel entrance. In the end, Matt got it a win he really needed, but this is a feud where the winners and the losers don't really matter. It's the build and the getting there and the story they tell on the way and all the weird wackadoo stuff they do in their matches. So that's, I'm going to stick with 3.
Considering their first encounter on the Raw 25 was at best a 1.5, I would give this 2.5. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was a bad match, because if we're going on a 5-star scale, it was a good match. I wanted a strong finish. Stephanie and Triple H, Kurt, Ronda, it was really good. I liked the fact that they gave Ronda an open mic. They let her do the sincere, thank you for accepting me into your world, in your universe. The crowd loved, and the fact that they did this in Vegas was just a huge props.
That was a great idea, putting it in Vegas. I mean, that was already her crowd. She's entertained that crowd countless times.
Yep.
Or 12 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like 15 times. I don't know. But yeah, that many
Regardless.
times. And she sold out arenas, and this was her town. And so anytime they do Vegas, Ronda basically has to do the show to some capacity. And also, they let her do a mild amount of move. They let her belly-to-belly Triple H, which shows she's not afraid to do a little bit of work.
Right.
But they also protected her.
Yep.
They didn't make her... Maybe it is a good idea that they didn't put her in the Rumble, didn't put her in the Chamber, because she hasn't really worked much yet. So if you put her in a mixed tag match, it also really protects her as well. So
Main event, first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match, number 1 contendership to the Universal title. Everybody and their mother saw it coming. Roman Reigns won the Chamber match, but ignoring that, black eye,
the amazing push they gave Braun Strowman.
not just the push that they gave Braun, eliminating the other 5 people in the match. Miz came out looking fantastic. Elias came out looking exactly like he should. Finn Balor got to do the things that he does in the ring. Seth Rollins got to continue doing the I'm the Iron Man figure. I'm Monday Night Raw. He continued that. John Cena did what Cena needed to do.
He gave everyone some shine in that match, really.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is everybody played their part to a T. And there's a reason I didn't mention Roman Reigns in this, is because Roman Reigns won the match, and if Roman Reigns would not have won that match, I would give it 4.5 stars, because the scripting of that match was absolutely beautiful. Without Roman Reigns winning, I would have come close to 5 because it was beautiful. Roman Reigns won. It was predicted. Roman did what Roman does. Roman is the main event style wrestler. He has his move set. He gives it to everybody. He plays off of other people, and that's the only way he gets over. And it doesn't even get him over.
He came in with main event style right out of developmental.
Exactly.
Explain that one.
I will give the Elimination Chamber match, oh, is this even allowed? 3 3/4 stars.
3 3/4. All right.
I would give it 4. If I can't give it 3/4 star, I'll give it 4 because it was really fun.
It was a very fun match, and I'm going to disagree with you here. It got Braun over, and then after that, literally, it was just all right, and now here's the 15 steps to Roman getting the 3 count, which we all knew was going to happen. But really, the winner of the match is Braun, and I'm disagreeing. I'm giving it 4 stars.
So, yeah, I guess really closing thoughts at this point. Basically, they set up Asuka, Alexa Bliss, which I don't know why they just didn't do it at Royal Rumble. I'll say it now. I don't know why they didn't. Whatever. They did tonight. Great. Asuka's going to beat Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. We all know Brock Lesnar's going to drop the damn belt to Roman Reigns. So there's 2 title changes on Raw. AJ Styles, Nakamura. I mean, they are actually setting up WrestleMania nicely, not just 2 weeks before it happens. So I'll give them that. Overall, Elimination Chamber, how did it set up for WrestleMania? Tenfold better than it did last year.
I will give you that. Yeah, it really did. Like, a lot of the card is actually starting to settle in. Like, they haven't fully cemented Alexa Bliss versus Asuka, but it's basically like the cake isn't fully baked yet, but we're getting there.
And you've got Sasha versus Bailey. You've got a lot of cards to be officially dealt yet, but they are in place. 6 weeks out, yeah, it's 100 times better than a week and a half, 2 weeks out, finally solidifying the card.
Final question. Overall, how many stars you rate the card?
As far as a Raw exclusive pay-per-view goes, with 2 gimmick matches, I am going to give it a 3.
You know, I'm going to disagree. I think with all the scores I gave it and with the last main event scoring a solid 4, you kind of have to score it at least a 3.5. The overall event, which build up to WrestleMania event, not too bad. You know, I can be pleasantly surprised, but I predict it's going to have a far higher rating than Speed Bump or whatever the next
Fastlane.
Fastlane. Okay, yeah, it's the Speed Bump to WrestleMania.
I'll be frank. The reason I'm giving it a 3 is because I called 5 matches straight down the line. And before we even started the event tonight, I asked another guy who watches wrestling what his predictions were, and they were verbatim, down the line, 5 for 5, agreeing with me. So the predictability factor of the outcome of every match is what leads me to give it a 3.
Granted, and I think I just kind of predicted differently in the women's elimination just to be kind of contrarian.
Yep.
But I'm going to stick with it. 3.5. 3.5. They're trying to build up to WrestleMania, and I'm going to stay with it. And you know what? This was a great Elimination Chamber 2018, and we're going to start wrapping it up because, well, it's getting that time. So, all of you out there in YouTube land, thank you, and podcast land, thank you for sticking with us for our review of Elimination Chamber 2018. I am your King of Extreme, the man of the hour, the man of the power, the man too sweet to be sour. Your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, with my broadcast partner,
Tony G. Thank you very much for listening to our second official podcast, and we will see you at Fastlane.